interview with the managing director of Movax. So could you introduce us Movax and a little bit about product?
Well, Movax is a company based on innovation. So we have started the company back in the 1990s, and we have always developed all our products and solutions ourselves. And everything we do is for tiling and foundation. So we are very focused on our customers, and we want to understand and know what our customers do. Everything we do is also always excavator mounted. So we are making attachments which are always connected to an excavator. And we have products for all different type of piling technologies. So we have machines to do driven piles, either with vibratory pile driver, like the one here, or with impact type hammers, which we have over there. So these are for driven piles. Then what is not seen here is that we also have drills, which can be used for concrete piling or bored drilled piles and so on. So we have a very wide range of excavator mounted piling and foundation equipment. Everything is controlled with the Movax control system, which is also, I would say, the state-of-the-art control system. We have been developing it for many, many years, and now we just introduced the first generation. And all Movax tools are about value adding to our customer. So we like to say we don't sell equipment, we sell a solution. A solution where our customer can do the job faster, more efficiently, more safely, with the control system more accurately than with any other method that's available on the market.
He also what's the difference between different and more traditional file drive?
Well, the difference with this one is that this is our main product, the side rim vibratory pile drive product. And the difference between traditional excavator mounted Mibros is that with this, you could only need one driver, one excavator, and one Movax, and he can do the entire job by himself. So in the side bib, it's possible to lift the pile from the ground, position him exactly to the location where you want to drive it, and then drive it into the ground, or also extract it when you need. And this is the main difference. So with the Movax side grip, you don't need additional cranes or other equipment for lifting. You don't need additional manpower to do the work. In some cases, with traditional equipment, you need to build a frame on the ground in order for the piles to go to the client's location. You don't need it with this, because with the side grip, we're always controlling exactly where we are putting the pile, and we can control it so it goes turning. So we can do a better quality job. We can do faster jobs with much less manpower, less machinery, and at the end of the day, less cost. So higher productivity with a lot of time and cost savings. That is what Movax is all about. That this is the side grip pile driver, but the same applies for all the other products that we offer. A Movax way of piling, which is more efficient, faster, safer, more accurate, more reliable, and so on. In addition, also, we have been developing this product for many, many years. So we know exactly what materials we are using in order to make sure that the machine is as reliable as possible. Because even if we have the best technology, that the best way for the customer to do the work, if the machine is broken, it's not worth also. So it also has to be made of first-class materials and so on, so that the customer knows that the machine is in operation like he needs.
Absolutely. We have so much construction in the city area, in the buildings, in a space.
Well, this equipment is perfect for work in inner city, and like this example, the railroads and so on. So first of all, when we talk about an excavator mounted attachment, and you compare that to a big piling rig, the excavator is very flexible. It can get into very tight spots and to places with low headroom and so on. So you can really get into areas in an inner city job site. In addition, any equipment causes noise and vibration and so on to the surrounding, and this can be harmful. But we have a special model called our V model, which is resonance free. And that minimizes any disturbances to the surroundings. So I can give you one example. We had a project in Singapore when there was this old, very, very beautiful historical building, and they tore down everything else except for facade, like the front of a building. And they were driving piles like 2 centimeters from this, just the front wall of the building. And it was utmost important that they don't leave freight and not cause any vibration to this structure. So there they used our V model, our resonance V model, and the whole job went perfectly, and they were managed to do a new building behind of the front, that one historical from the front of the building without any damage to anything at all. So yes, the whole act is perfect. We're in our inner city, tight areas, low headroom and so on.
That's our area. Also, that's that modular system. So when you're not saying having about the modular system, it's like
Well, the idea is that because we have many customers that are small companies and don't kind of afford to invest in a lot of free equipment, we have also weak customers. So our products are all modular, and what we mean with the modular is that you can change some parts on the machine very quickly, very easily, sometimes even within a few minutes. And the customer can drive different piles with the same machine. So in the same Movax, because of the modular construction, it can be used to drive sheet piles, tubular steel piles, timber piles, H-beams, and so on. So it means that if the customer invests in a Movax, he does not have to invest only for one particular project, but he can invest now to drive sheet piles, and tomorrow he makes foundations for a 5-story apartment building with steel tubes, and he just changes some clamps and he can do this job again. So it lowers the threshold for the customer to invest in Movax and that's kind of just one of the, excuse me. One thing which is also modular is that the whole construction from a maintenance point of view, the site is also modular. So if some part would break, we only change the part. We don't have to repair the entire machine. So which is that we can do many maintenance and repair work also very, very quickly. So operationally modular, but also from a maintenance point of view, the machine, the site driver is also modular.
In our region, also plastic piles are very popular. How about this equipment? Does work well with plastic?
This equipment works also with vinyl or plastic piles. You just need certain additional, let's say, tools that in order to drive, because if you try to squeeze too much vinyl, you will basically break it. But we have the solutions available, what additional parts you need. So the machine would be exactly the same as for any of the other piles that you were trying, and then we would just provide additional tooling to be able to drive those vinyl sheets.
Yeah. The delivery time to the center of Asia, how long will it take?
Well, transportation is very difficult issue these days, but I can answer you that robot. We are always assembling the machine order, and our delivery time when we can ship from the factory is between 1 and 4 weeks. So we can ship from the factory very quickly. But then to ship to Central Asia, I don't really know how many weeks it takes. So this depends on the shipping. But we can manufacture exactly the machine, tailor-made for another customer, let's say a few weeks time. I can't do it.
How about used equipment?
Well, our customers, they like to keep this equipment. So we very seldom have any used equipment for sale. And customers, when they buy the new one, they mostly tend to keep the old as a backup, and then if something happens to the new one. So sometimes we do have used equipment, but very seldom. I think it's possible, but very seldom available. So sometimes, but when they name today, hope we don't know about you. I don't know about it. I send it again.
And you already mentioned about software. Could you explain a little bit more?
Well, the operation of the Movax equipment is requires always the control system. And this is something that we have started developing already in the middle of the 90s. And we just launched earlier this year our next generation control system. And the whole idea with the control system is that the operator can work faster and do a higher quality installation with the Movax. And this is something where we are also quite unique. That nobody has a similar system to control the equipment as we do. And the whole thing is productivity, save time, make a good, high quality end result, and so on. And that the control system is the key part of the Movax way of planning.
Okay, yeah. And maybe just some future plans for Movax.
Well, our future plan is to stay ahead, to be the number one, to be the leader in setting the trends, coming up with new features, new solutions, and so on for our customers. We will continue to focus solely on the piling and foundation industry customers. And we are more than willing to change and develop and continue developing our products based on the feedback we get from our customers. So we are not gathering moss. We are rolling stones. We are rock and roll.
Yeah, that's the
So we have now, here at Bama, we have introduced our next generation side-bit pile driver, and it is top-of-the-line model. It's more powerful. It has new features for handling the piles and so forth, which we did not have before. So we are not sitting still. We're taking further steps to be even better in the future.
That is great. Thank you very much for the interest.
Thank you.